doing well. All right, so I got to start this off topic, but does anybody ever ask you about Kindergarten Cop? Probably one of my all-time favorite comedies.
I peaked at 5 years old, guys.
You were in that movie?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love that movie.
I was one of the kids in the classroom. I spoke Spanish. 5. I just turned 5. Yeah.
Poor thing.
Yeah, I know.
5.
I know. Fuck my parents.
What were they thinking?
Let me grow a personality. Jesus. I remember it well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I really do. I love that movie so much.
Yeah, it was fun.
That's
Carrie,
so
I
cute.
want to say, you played Natalie in Memento, that whole scene where you said, I can say whatever I want.
Yeah.
That was a life changer
that.
for me.
Love that.
The reason why, I got interested in entertainment.
Oh, wow.
Covering film.
Somebody just told me the same thing at another something. I forget.
I know you said that The Matrix made your career, but I was wondering what that movie meant to you creatively.
Yeah. Honestly, I think that's my best work. I'm pretty good at judging my own work, and I'm immensely proud of that. And I remember shooting it. It was like 8 days, I think I shot, and it was like this magical vortex that I entered into creatively at that particular moment in time. I was just ready. Guy Pearce and then Christopher Nolan. It's like the stars aligned, and I just felt like I stepped into that reality and lived in that world for those 8 days, and it was effortless from action to cut, completely effortless. And I have never had that experience since then, like where you kind of like it just completely surprised me. Everything was so in the moment. And that's personally what I strive to do. And like, for instance, like in The Matrix, like it's not that style. It's a very different style. It's very, it's just much more, at least the first 3, like very, there's a particular stillness to that character. That's not really me at all. It's kind of, but with Natalie, that character, I was just like freedom. Like I remember when I like spit into that thing, like it was just like, I don't know, I can't explain it. Or even that scene, that scene was like freedom. Like there's no way to do that wrong. Because then she walks out and she's like, hey, right? Like so manipulative. And yet, I don't know, I loved it. It was so much fun. Thanks for reminding me.
I haven't seen her light up that way.
I forgot how much I loved it.
Look at that.
I registered an acting class the next semester just based on
I remember when I read it, like when I read that scene, I was literally like wishing I was reading it alongside someone so I could say, oh my God. And I said, I have to do that movie because of that scene. So I did that movie because of that scene.
That's awesome.
Since the Matrix movies, has black become your color
I
of choice?
I just like to wear it, I try to go like, my soul is like
Is a rainbow.
Is a girl barefoot in like a long flowy dress, but it doesn't actually work on me. Like I do it in my own life, but like I don't know. I just kind of like to wear black. I just enjoy it. I think it looks good on me.
Yeah,
it works
definitely.
on me, my coloring and stuff.
So Kevin told us that this story basically follows right along with the family that y'all are kind of the heads of here. Tell us a little bit about what's it like being like the main focus of the story and whatnot.
Me?
Yeah,
The Matrix.
both of y'all.
Okay.
Or tell me a story. Yeah.
Yeah. You go.
He's asking you.
You're asking me?
Both of you.
He's asking me?
Like,
I just talked. It's your turn.
Kevin told us like the whole story kind of stems out from your family in this.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, it's all the 3. I'm the matriarch, and then I have 3 children, and she is my middle child, and she's going down one of those fairy tales, and then my other daughter, whose character's name is Ashley, that's Beauty and the Beast, and then my son Jackson is Cinderella.
But our family dynamic really does root the entire show. And it is very interesting to see what our relationship is with our mother, because it is very different for each sibling. And for me specifically, you see this girl who seems to have it all together, but really, the weight of her family is on her shoulders, and she is trying to anchor her family desperately and to keep it all together, but really her personal life is really falling apart. And you start to see that unravel throughout the season, which is a nice turn for my character.
I mean, both of you have obviously done action. You've done your Rain and Supergirl, obviously with Matrix. And I was wondering, it sounds like it's very much family dynamic. Is there any kind of action scenes or sort of fight type scenes? Is there anything like that?
You know what's really nice about this? That we get to have a conversation. That we get to be humans, that we get to be people, and that we don't, there, like you were saying, you have that stillness, in the Matrix, and I had to have that stillness as well with Rain, and we just get to be family, and that's the most complicated thing,
You kind of breathe in it, I mean? It's like you're not holding your breath, you're just kind of like
doing it.
Get to be real in a way, which sounds like, well, duh, but sometimes you don't get to do that. Sometimes,
Do you have any kind of family bonding time?
it just sort of happened naturally. I think when you're open and you do what we do for work, like that's our job, is just to be super open, take what you're dealing with in your real life, try to bring it into the work. If you can't, you got to pull it out of somewhere, and then you ultimately, all of your technique you put to the side, and you hope you can work off the other actor. And I think that's pretty effortless on this show. And we all just have gotten to know each other over this time.
Are there any funny moments that you can tell us that may have happened on set that?
I'm terrible at that. I can't remember. I'm sure there have.
I mean, Paul and I lost our shit yesterday together because we had grass everywhere. We were rolling around, and I said something like a truck driver. He's like, "What did you just say?" And we just couldn't pull it together. And we were, racing the clock. And those are the moments that you're like, "Well, we're human. Like, what do you want?" It's been really great. We have an incredible cast. Everybody, there's just no drama. It's pretty easy.
Jennifer, one last question. I was curious what your own process was for choosing certain projects. Like, I know for you, Carrie, you took some time away and then you just came back just like a storm. Holgard and then this story. So it's like, how do you go about choosing different projects?
Well, somebody was asking us over there that question, and I have to be honest and say that every time it's something, it's such a unique reason why you take jobs. You know what I mean? Why you say yes. And sometimes it's timing. I mean, it's always a mixture. Creativity, obviously Kevin Williams is a big draw. I like the 10 episode. I like the beginning, the middle, and the end, so that it's not like you're living in TV limbo land, wondering whether or not you're going to get picked up again. I like that. And then, and I like the character. And then, but you sign on to a TV show, you read one episode, you don't know it's going to. So you just, it's a job, right? It's how I support my family. So I go to work, and I pick my jobs based on many different things. In this particular one, definitely Kevin was at the forefront. Yeah. How about you?
I agree. I think that people tend to forget sometimes that we're just trying to do our best. And providing for our family is a really big part of that as well.
I think they romanticize actors like that we don't need to work or something like that. Or I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like,
just fun.
Like we're just like sitting there eating grapes, right? And, like, trying to decide like when our next role is gonna be,
And people make decisions for our children, and we have kids, and we are, and we have to make those choices. And I agree, Kevin Williamson is incredible, and he's such a generous human, and he has given us this space to be creative. But, there are a lot of factors that come into play. 10 episodes is really wonderful for having a family, and it's a
cast
huge.
too,
that's what I was just going to say. It's a big cast. We can go back
not
home
away very often,
and
for too long. Yeah, it's a big deal.
John Boyd, you mentioned how early on in his career he was always worried that whatever role he was doing might be his last one. And I was wondering, because what you're speaking about acting now, if you ever felt
No, I
way.
never feel like that, but I do know that it's a business and that it's a tough business. So I don't take it for granted. You know what I mean? It's like I love what I do. I love telling story. I love being part of storytelling. Like I feel so grateful. It's all I've ever wanted to do. And I'm so grateful I get to go to work. But I don't hold it too precious either. It's like, I learn so much about myself every job that I do. Like I look at like more about who I grow into being doing a job than the finished product. Because I have no control over the finished product. But I do have control over who I am being. So that's what I always look at when I work. It's not like, oh, is it going to be award winning? Is it going to be all that? Because you don't know. You never know.
Nailed it.
Thank y'all very much.
Thank you.